Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to Access Garage. All right, so today's video, as you could tell by the title, will contain some information for people in New York State who want to register a vehicle during the whole COVID thing. It's specific to us as it is episode 2 in our series of Cosmo, which is the name of our 2000 Jeep Cherokee. And although this video is specific to Cosmo, it covers how we have to do things now in New York State and how long it took and what the process was and how easy or how hard it was. Anyway, we buy this, stay tuned, used vehicle, private sale. It was previously registered in New York State. We bought it from the gentleman who had it registered in New York State. So you already have a New York State title that gets signed over to the new owner, along with other paperwork. So we bought the vehicle, brought it home, and now we have to get it insured first and registered, because in New York State, you have to insure a vehicle before you can register a vehicle. That's just the way it is. I know some states you don't necessarily have to insure it, or there's other insurance regulations. But New York State, first thing you do, insure it, then get it registered. Then you can get your safety and or emissions inspection if you need to get emissions along with it. And where we live, on a vehicle that was manufactured on model year 2000, we need emissions and safety inspection. It's all one inspection, but it's some vehicles, depending on the year, can just get safety, and depending on where you live, you might be exempt from emissions and you only get safety. Even on a newer vehicle, for us, emissions and safety at a $37 fee, by the way. So New York State. So we get the vehicle home, and I said to my wife, I said, well, I'll wait for the next rainy day, and this because I don't work during the day when it rains. So I said, we'll wait for the next rainy day so I don't have to go a day and not work, and then I'll just go over to DMV and I'll put up with the line and the headaches, because a New York State DMV, for those of you outside of New York State and outside of other big cities, I'm sure, I mean, we're not in New York City. We are on Long Island, which is not in the city, and it's a nightmare when you go to DMV. Our local DMV has, if you can imagine, like a bank, going into a bank with a bunch of bank tellers at the window, not just one teller, maybe a bigger bank, and you go in and there's teller windows, and there's, say, 3 tellers or 4 tellers in a bigger bank. That's what our DMV is like, but there's not 3 or 4, there's 24 or 26 different teller windows. So when you get to DMV, you have to wait online. A lot of times, just to even get in the door, you're waiting online. And that line leads to an information booth, which there's 1 or 2 people staffing sometimes. So you get to that, you wait on that line, and that line can take, usually about 40 minutes, I'm going to estimate, where I live. It has taken almost 2 hours in the past. So you wait on that information line, you get to the window, and they say, what do you want to do? And you tell them, I want to register a car for the first time. And they'll ask, do you have all your forms? And usually people that are smart will go online, download the forms, fill all the forms out, get all the signatures, all the paperwork together, and they'll come there with a whole packet of crap already done. The thing that slows, and then they give you a number. The thing that slows the line down is people will go there and they'll go, no, I don't have any forms. So now they're going to give them all their forms right there and tell them, you need this, you need this, you need this, and that's what slows that line down. And it's a lot of people. And there's 1 or 2. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll be staffed by 2. It's set up for 2 people staffing the information line. Very rarely are both people there. Sometimes there's a 5-minute overlap where they're both there, and then one of them will disappear. I don't know whether they get a lot of breaks when they work for the DMV. It is frustrating on our end, and I'm sure it's frustrating on their end too. But maybe they got a great contract and they get to take a lot of breaks, but it always seems like they're taking a lot of breaks. People aren't working the windows all the time. I don't know why. It's not the DMV's employees' fault, because I have had a lot of them that have been real good, and I have had some, just like any occupation, where they're kind of lousy. But it just takes a long time, and it's a frustrating process, especially when you come there with your shit together, and I usually try to have all my shit together when I go there. Then, after you get that number, you go out into the general assembly, let's call it, and there's all kinds of chairs and pews almost of seating, and sometimes it's full and you can't sit and you have to stand, and there's a big board With the last 5 numbers that they call, then you got to wait for your number to come up. And sometimes that could take 20 minutes when you're lucky. Usually it's going to take an hour, 2, 3. I've been there as long as 6 hours to register a vehicle, because that's usually when you have to go to motor vehicles. When you renew, you could do it by mail or online. When you have to renew your license, you could do that by mail or online. You don't have to go there to renew unless you're changing the type or the style of license, or you need a new photo. So you try to stay out of the DMV as much as possible in New York State, but registering a vehicle, you have to go there. They don't allow that online. But wait. So I said that to my wife. I said, I'll wait for the next rainy day. And she goes, ooh, with the whole COVID thing going on, you might have to make an appointment. So I look, and sure as shit, you got to make an appointment. They have this whole appointment process. I'm not going to get into that, but the appointments are really jam booked up because of everybody has to make an appointment. So that's kind of jammed up. And I didn't even look at the schedule to see what my soonest appointment was, because I wanted to do it on a rainy day if I'm going to kill a few hours to a whole day at the DMV. So I said, I wonder if you could do it, by mail or something like that. And as it turns out, you can do it by mail now, or you can do it with using the Dropbox. They have a Dropbox on the outside of each DMV since COVID. And what it is you have to collect all your information, all your forms, and you put it in an envelope, and you can mail it to them, or you can drop it in the Dropbox. And then they will take those forms when they get it, they will review them, and they'll get in touch with you about what you're missing or what was done wrong, because there's always something missing, or there's always something wrong. There's so many forms and so many check boxes and things to fill out, and it's never really clear. And I've registered cars. I mean, we have, 11 or 12 cars right now, and I've registered cars probably close to, it could be 50, 60 cars in my lifetime that were registered, and you never get it 100% right. So I keep looking, and I found register online, and they actually, and in New York, they're so behind the times with a lot of stuff in the New York State government with Dictator Cuomo. That it was shocking to see that you could actually register online, and if it wasn't for COVID, there would be no registration online. So actually, during the height of the COVID, we all enjoyed having less traffic on the road, and now we're enjoying this online registration, but everybody can't do it. You can only do it if you live in New York City, which is New York County, which is Manhattan is New York County, Bronx County, Queens County, and Richmond County. Richmond County is Staten Island, and Kings County is Brooklyn. All right, if you live on Long Island, Nassau and Suffolk counties are Long Island. You can do it. If you live in Albany County, Rockland County, Westchester County, or Onondaga County. Anywhere else in the state. So for my buddies in Buffalo, you can't do it. Unless Onondaga is Buffalo. No, it's not. I don't think it is. So you could do it online, completely online. So I said, okay, how do we do that? So they have this form that you fill out, and it's just pedigree information: name, email, phone number, county of residence, the VIN of the vehicle you want to do, and any notes. You could actually add notes. And then they want you to attach documents, electronically attached documents. So you're going to have to get all your documents together, scan them, both sides, because a lot of them are front and back, and upload them into the system. So what do you need? You need a registration form. That's 2 pages. You need a copy of the insurance card within the past 180 days. You need a copy of your New York State driver's license to prove who you are. You need the original New York State title that's signed and filled out on the back, so you need front and back of that. You need a lien release if it's applicable. You need a bill of sale, and you need a sales tax form. So I get all these forms together, I scan them in and into one PDF, and I go to upload it, and it errors, and it says we cannot process because you don't have 4 files uploading. So I had to take my forms and break them up into 4 different bunches. I guess there was about 7 or 8, 9. It was 9 pages total because of the front and backs. So it was 9 pages total. I had to break them up into 4 separate PDF files, and then I had to upload 4 files. So I submitted the form on a Tuesday evening about 6 p.m. Motor Vehicles closes at 4 or 4:30. I think they used to have one late night, but let's just say after business hours on Tuesday. So we'll start the clock on Wednesday. So Wednesday was day one. So when I submitted, the only thing you can't submit is any kind of payment, because there's nothing in, and this is typical New York State, nothing in their whole online thing here can estimate how much you have to pay, which is silly because the bill of sale and the sales tax form indicates your sales tax. So you know how much sales tax you have to pay, but there's no schedule anywhere about your what the other fees are. And I think one is a title fee, and then you have your registration fee, and there's nothing in here to help you estimate those fees and facilitate paying. So this is what happens. You send it in. Tuesday night I sent it in after hours. I got an immediate email that they've received it. So we went Wednesday, day 1, Thursday, day 2, Friday, day 3. The end of business, no, I'm lying. End of business on, Friday. End of business on Friday, day 3. I get an email at 3:45 that a box wasn't checked on the back of my title. My odometer disclosure was not checked. And I'm like, how the frig did I miss that, So I come in the house, I open my packet up of all the stuff that I scanned, look at the back of the title, and I did check the odometer disclosure, but under that is the damage disclosure, where you have to check a box stating whether the vehicle has been wrecked and totaled or has not been wrecked and totaled. I didn't check that box. So they pointed me to the wrong box. I figured it out. I checked the appropriate box, has not been, wrecked or totaled or anything like that. I rescanned the entire title, and I go online. I click the link that they sent me in the email. I go on, and I upload that document, and I put in the notes, updated title with disclosure statement correctly completed, and I upload that Friday, end of business. So now, Saturday, Sunday weekend, our offices are closed. Monday was a holiday, so now it's Tuesday. So Tuesday, I actually get a phone call, and I get a phone call from DMV to process my payment over the phone. So I have to give them a credit card or debit card information over the phone to process payment, and I processed the payment. I think the title fee was something like, it was over $300 to get this car registered on the road. So between the sales tax, the registration fee, which is right around, I believe it's around $200 a year to register a vehicle in New York State. It goes by weight, so this is like a 3,400 pound car or something like that, 3,400. It goes by weight for some reason. It's a 2-year registration. In the end, it was over $300 to get this thing registered with the title fee and the sales tax and all that other stuff. So I processed the payment over the phone. I asked, how long can I expect to receive my plates? And she says 7 to 10 days. Didn't even hesitate, 7 to 10 days. And I could tell she was in a DMV office because I could hear the numbers being called in the background in the gallery when I was saying, hey, you wait. So she was, this is not in Albany, in a not open to the public, DMV office somewhere, which Albany is the state capital. This is just a DMV office somewhere that's processing it, and I don't know what office it's at because I didn't mail it anywhere. I submitted it electronically. So that was Tuesday. I wait Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'll start the clock again after I made the payment the next day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Saturday in the mail. I get the plates, I get the registration, and I get my temporary inspection that's good for 10 days that I can use to drive my vehicle to the mechanic to get it inspected. But of course, I was already 5 days into my 10-day temporary inspection because the mail. But all in all, it took 8 business days. And then if you count the off days, because it's gonna go through a weekend, you can 8, 9, 10, or 11, in my case, because of the holiday, 11 days. So it took 11 days start to finish to get my vehicle registered with DMV. But now, They said the documents you'll receive from DMV are the plates, the registration window sticker, the registration receipt, the 10-day temporary inspection sticker, and then the last thing, you will also receive an envelope for submitting the original paperwork. See step 7. So now you go down to step 7, and it says, once we process your application, you may be required to submit your original title, ownership document, or a transferable registration. Cars before 1973 in New York are not titled, so you get a transferable registration receipt. All right, if you are required to submit these documents, we will provide an envelope with your registration documents. We will issue your new title only after we receive and review your original title ownership document and lien release. So I get my packet in the mail on the 8th business day or the 11th total day. I open it up, my plates are in there, my registration sticker for the windshield is in there, my temporary inspection is in there, and my registration receipt, which you're supposed to keep in the vehicle or in your wallet. It's something you have to produce if you get stopped by law enforcement. I get those things. There is no return envelope. There is no instructions whatsoever. There is nothing saying that they want all my original paperwork, and there's nothing saying they want the title. Nothing at all in the envelope. So what do? I do what anybody else does. I said, okay, I put all my paperwork in a file in my home office, and I'm going to leave it there just in case they come looking for something. I put the plates on the vehicle, put the stickers on the vehicle, go get it inspected, everything's fine, and I start driving the vehicle to, what you do with a new used vehicle is I drive it before anybody else in the family drives it for a few weeks to make sure that we work any bugs or issues out before they get behind the wheel, because it's okay when Dad breaks down. So anyway, about a week later, I get an email from DMV in the format of this whole online registration thing, saying I have yet to it's sort of like an email, like I have yet to. Actually, I have it right here. So it's an incident number, number, blah, 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 blah. And that's the whole online form is called an incident. When you request a registration online, it's called an incident. Gotta love New York. We have not received your title. Our records show that on 10/6/2020, 6:48 p.m., you submitted an application to, yes, I did. When your vehicle was registered on 10/14, we told you that to complete, no, you didn't. You told me online that you'd send me an envelope and instructions, and you never did. So then it says, if you have not yet sent your title, send it. And they give me an address. So now I have an address at least, because nowhere on this online instructions, the online instructions to do the online registration, do they give you an address to send anything to. And now I got an email from New York State DMV telling me to mail my title to the Title Bureau in the state capital of Albany. So now at least I have some direction. I guess I'll have to provide my own envelope because they didn't provide me with one like they said it was going to, and I don't care. I'm not nitpicking at that. But they kind of gave clear instructions. We're going to send you an envelope to mail your stuff back. And they made it seem like they wanted all the original documents. So all they're saying now is we need the old original title that was transferred to you, mail it in. And that's what I'm going to do. But all in all, for New York State, it was a pretty painless process. I'm quite impressed. If they could figure out how to do the payment, you could submit this with your payment and have plates in a few days. I would never go to DMV again. I really wouldn't. There's no reason. You could probably, reduce a ton of people from going to DMV if you could just get your crap together with this whole online thing and get a real merchant page on how to do it. Vehicle weighed, all the information, put the documents in. They send me the plates. Give me a return envelope, a postage. That would be the best. You pay your fees, everything online. When you get your plates in the mail, there's a postage paid, pre-addressed envelope. You take all of your paperwork that you uploaded, you shove it in there, drop it in the mailbox. It goes up to them. They do whatever they do with it, and you're done, and it would work. But for people that live in New York State, the pain of DMV. I have briefly, resided in another state back in college where I went to DMV and got a license and things like that, and it was so much more convenient. It was so much more pleasurable. You walked in, hey, how you doing? What can we do for you? And they did it. DMV, in New York is just crazy, and I'm sure in other big cities it's nuts too. But painless. So if you got to register a vehicle in New York and you want to just do it completely online, expect it to take anywhere from, say, 7 to 10 or 7 to 12 days start to finish. 10 to 12 days start to finish maybe. But within 2 weeks, you're going to get your plates in the mail. It's fairly painless. You just follow the directions. They don't tell you, but 4 files for all your paperwork. You got to break it up into 4 different files because they want it in 4 files for whatever reason. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up, even though it can use some work, and get going with this and come up. It's 2020, really. We should be able to do this all online. But it worked. That's our update for Cosmo. So Cosmo is registered, Cosmo's insured, Cosmo's inspected, and I've been driving Cosmo back and forth to work for the last week and a half or so, and I'm going to keep driving him until we kind of get him all worked out with, or my wife can drive Cosmo for the winter maybe instead of her IROC. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Robbie drives my Suburban all the time when he's not using his truck. So probably baby mama Michelle is going to use Cosmo as her winter vehicle instead of the IROC in the winter, because I'm sure the IROC in the snow is going to be a pleasant surprise to her. So that's all we got today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Had any experience with a DMV nightmares? Share them in the comments below. Love to hear about the nightmare DMV stories. That's all we got tonight. Thanks for watching.